All right, we're now recording. So all we're going to do is review the previous exams in preparation for the final exam. So, all right, so this is our second to the last day. We caught up, we did everything we wanted to do. So final exam review, I will simply go over the previous exams, and that's how you study for the final exam. I thought it would make it very convenient for you. Now, you still should have all the previous exam solutions. You might have to dig through it. I thought I'd just do it again and refresh your memory and come at it all in one video. So if you want to study for the final exam, you can just look at this one video, and that should be good enough. Okay, so Friday, we'll go straight to the final exam. No questions and answers. If you have any questions about anything, it has to be tonight or this afternoon. So we will start right away at 4:40. I will send by Canvas announcements the exams. You have the whole time from 4:40 to 5:55 for the final exam. Most likely scenarios, I'll pick 3 questions from every test. 3 times 5 is 15. So think of 15 questions, all very similar to previous exam questions. They don't have to be the very same question, but somewhat similar in content, okay? You can have 5 formula sheets. You can have this formula sheet from the first test, second test, third test, fourth test, fifth test. Just bring them all in. You can add to them if you want also. Okay, so that's not a problem. Okay, Kyle, I see you. I'll get you later. I already put away the row sheet. I don't like to take it out, as you know, once I get started. Okay, so I'm going to put this away. So next time, be ready for the final exam. No questions and answers. We'll go straight to it. 4:40 to 5:55. You don't need this anymore. You don't need to turn in the homework anymore. There's no homework you have to submit. You just have to submit the final exam. So your concentration should be just on the exams. And that means you don't need to mess with this anymore either. Okay, don't go back and look at this. Just go back and look at the exams. Essentially look at today's video. Okay. And I realized I didn't plug this in, so maybe that's why you're not hearing me that well.
Okay, so here we go. So I'll show you each test. So it's all condensed. Okay, very quickly. Again, I realize that you ignore all the extra notes I have there off to the side. Okay, I'll be going fast, okay, because you've seen all this before. In fact, you looked at all of these very intensely at one time, right, during the test. So I'm not going to speak as if it were a first-time lecture. It is just a review, so I'll be going somewhat rapidly. Okay, that's in order to save time also, otherwise we wouldn't have time to finish. And you can always, fast forward, rewind, replay as often as you want between now and Thursday. Okay, number 1, to rationalize the denominator, multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator, which is 3 plus radical x. That gives me 9 plus 6 radical x plus x over 9 minus x. Number 2, simplify, multiply top and bottom by xy, the common denominator. That gives me y minus x over y minus xy squared. Okay, number 3, solve for x. Notice x cannot be either 0 or -1 because I will be dividing by 0. Okay, common denominator is x times x plus 1. So multiply both sides by x times x plus 1. Over here, x cancels out. I have 3 times x plus 1 minus 4 times x plus 1. Over here, x plus 1 cancels out, so I have 2x squared. This becomes 3x plus 3 minus 4x squared minus 4x equals 2x squared. Move the 2x squared over, I get negative 6x squared minus x plus 3 equals 0. Multiply both sides by -1. 6x squared plus x minus 3 equals 0. Use the quadratic formula. You may put the quadratic formula in your formula sheet if you need to. So x is negative b, -1 plus or minus the square root of b squared, 1 minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. Double negative, 1 plus 72. Final answer, -1 plus or minus radical 73 over 12. Number 4, f of x is x squared. They want f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. That's x plus h squared minus x squared all over h. X squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x squared all over h. X squared cancels out, factor out on h. H parentheses 2x plus h divided by h. H cancels out. Final answer, 2x plus h. Number 5, slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So 16 minus a -10 divided by 5 minus 3, 26 over 2 or 13. Okay, point, slope. So y minus 16, I decided to pick this point. Y minus 16 equals 13 times x minus 5. Y minus 16 is 13x minus 65. Final answer, y is 13x minus 49. Number 6, f of x is x squared. X is less than 0. We know that's parabolic. Looks like a parabola. Does not include 0, so an open circle at the origin. And then x plus 1 is a line including 0, so 0, 1, and you go up like so. 7, solve. Move the 3x and the 10 over. 2x squared minus 3x plus 10 equals 0. X is negative b. 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared. 9 minus 4 times a times c. 4 times 2 times 10 all over 2 times 2. That's 9 minus 80. 3 plus or minus radical negative 71 over 4. Square root of negative 71 is not a real number. It's imaginary, so take out the I. 3 plus or minus I radical 71 over 4. Or at the time, we didn't do any I stuff, so you can also say no solution if it comes out like that. Okay, number 8. Log problems. Subtract 6. Negative log base 2 of 11x plus 30 equals negative 1. Multiply both sides by negative 1. Unscramble it. 2 raised to the first power is 11x plus 30. And then let's see, 11x equals, supposed to subtract 30, 11x equals negative 28. It is a negative 28. X is negative 28 over 11 or negative 2.545. Looks like I should have done that. So yeah, it should be negative. Sorry about that. Number 9, y equals log base 2 of x. That's 2 to the y equals x. Made myself a little table. So I let y go from negative 2 to 2. X is 1/4, 1/2, 1, 2, and 4. Go something like that. And 10, 7,500 equals 1,500, 1.013 to the 5x. That was to set you up for the financial math in chapter 2. Divide by 1,500. 5 equals 1.013 to the 5x. Take the natural log of both sides. 5x comes down. ln 5 is 5x, ln 1.013. Divide by 5, ln 1.013. X is ln 5 divided by ln 1.013, 24.92. Okay, and again, let me do the focus thing somewhat rapidly. I know I'm going fast, but you've seen this before. There was a video on this. There's a video on every exam, so I feel justified in going fast. Besides, I have to, otherwise we don't have enough time to finish. So there's all that. And all this. Everybody, please keep yourself muted. Okay, here's some background there. Okay, so that's the first test. On to the second test. Let me check the chat. Okay, somebody just joined. All right, that's fine. Okay, so exam number 2, financial math. So here are the questions. I guess I have to scroll back and forth here, unfortunately. These 2, 3. Again, you should theoretically have all these, but I'm just making it convenient for you. Okay, you can see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the left side at least, and there's the right side. Okay, you can ignore the right hand with all the red. That's my quickie answers, but now let's go through them. Okay, number 1, interest is principal times rate times time. 3,000 times 0.07 times 5 is 1050. So the new balance is 4,050. Interest is 1050. Number 2, 20,000 is principal. 1 plus 0.10 times 6. That's 1.6. Divide both sides by 1.6. Principal is 12,500. Number 3, I is 0.06 divided by 12 because it says monthly. 0.005. Total number of periods is 12 times 4 because it says monthly. 4 years, 48. Number 4, I is 0.12 divided by 12, again, compounded monthly, that's 0.01. N is 3 times 12, 3 years, 12 times a year, 36. Plug in the formula, future value S is 3,000, 1 plus I to the nth power. Punch it in your calculator, 4292.31. It asks for the interest, so the interest is the new balance minus the original balance of 3,000. So final answer is 1292.31. Okay, number 5, interest rate compounded quarterly, 0.06 divided by 4 is 0.015. N is 8 times 4, which is 32. So S is 1,000, 1.015 to the 32 power minus 1 divided by 0.015. Punch it in your machine, 40,688.29. Number 6, 12% compounded monthly divided by 12, 0.01. N is 4 times 12, which is 48. So we want $200,000. So 200,000 is R, 1.01 to the 48th power minus 1 divided by 0.01. This stuff here is 61.222. R is 2,000 divided by 61.222, 3266.77. 7, I is 0.08 divided by 2, which is 0.04. N is 6 times 2, which is 12. A sub n is 5,000. 1 minus 1.04 to the negative 12 divided by 0.04. 46,925.37. Number 8, 8% compounded quarterly divided by 4, 0.02. N is 4 years times 4 times per year, quarterly, 16. So 300,000 is R, 1 minus 1.02 to the negative 16 divided by 0.02. Punch this out, it's about 13.577. So R is 300,000 divided by that 13.577, 22,095.04. Remember, money should always be rounded to the nearest penny. 9, I is 0.04 divided by 2, 0.02. N is 10. So 60,000 equals R, 1 minus 1.02 to the negative 10 divided by 0.02. This comes out to be 8.98. R is 60,000 divided by that 8.98, 6679.59. Okay. Number 10, develop an amortization schedule. I will not make you do an amortization schedule for the final exam. Now you might still have to compute this. Okay. So develop an amortization schedule. So 5,000 for 4 years at 5% compounded annually. Okay. What is the periodic payment? I might ask you for that, but I will not ask you to fill one of these out. It takes too long. Okay. So don't worry about doing this. Okay. You still might have to do this though. So 5,000 R times 1 minus 5%, 1.05 to the negative 4 divided by 0.05, 3.545, blah, blah, blah. So R is 5,000 divided by that, 1410.06. Okay, so once again, you will not have to fill out an amortization schedule. Okay, so that's the second exam. So let me do a quickie review of that for focusing purposes. Again, theoretically, you should already have all of these. If you look back at the videos hard enough, you can find them, but I'm just condensing it here. So yeah, you can survive, I think, just by reviewing this video. Granted, I'm going fast, but you've seen it all before. And hopefully it's just kind of jog your memory. Okay, so 2 down, 3 to go. That's exam 2. Okay, exam number 3. Let me check the chat. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so exam 3, the calculus. So how are the questions? And let's see, you got to move over a little bit. You can ignore all the red that I have there. That's just, again, my quickie answers. I'm doing a lot of derivatives there. Okay. Okay, number 1, factor, limit x approaches 4, x plus 4, x minus 4 divided by x minus 4. Cancel out the x minus 4s. Then plug in 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. Number 2, limit as x approaches 2 from the left of f of x is 5. Limit as x approaches 2 from the right is also 5. So you basically plug into both of them from the get-go. It's continuous at 2. Plug in 2 here, plug in 2 here. In both cases, you get 5. Therefore, it's continuous. Okay. The limit from the left, the limit from the right, and the function value are all 2. So limit as x approaches 2 of f of x is f of 2. Function is continuous. Number 3, f of 2 is 4. Plug in 2, get 4. F of 2.01 is 2.01 squared, or 4.0401. So we want f of 2.01 minus f of 2 divided by 2.01 minus 2. Grind it out, comes out to be 4.01. Therefore, what's our approximation for the instantaneous rate of change? Well, this is near 4, so the answer would be 4. Number 4, give the derivative. pretty straightforward. So that's nothing. Negative 24x squared minus 12x minus 5. Negative 24x to the fourth minus 12x squared minus 5. Number 5, find the derivative at 4. The equation of the tangent line means derivative. The derivative is 6x minus 4 at x equals 4. So 6x minus 4, plug in 4, 20. 6, product rule. Copy the first function times the derivative of the second plus the second function times the derivative of the first, and just stop there. Right? So we look at the original product rule. Copy this function times the derivative of that, 6x minus 16, right? Plus copy the second function, and then times the derivative of the first, which is 12x squared minus 18x plus 11. So no big deal. 7 was the quotient rule. So bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared. Clean it up. 2x cubed plus 10x minus 2x cubed plus 8x. 2x cubed cancels out. 18x over x squared plus 5 squared. Number 8, differentiate this. Square root means raised to the 1/2 power. So 4x minus 3 to the half. Derivative is 1/2. 4x minus 3 to the negative half. Then by the chain root times the derivative of the inside, which is 4. 1/2 times 4 is 2. Put that in the denominator. 2 over radical 4x minus 3. Number 9, write the equation of the tangent line. So we know what that means. Derivative, use that point slope form. So the derivative is 2x minus 10. Plug in 1, I get negative 8. So y minus y1, y minus 4 equals m times x minus x1. You could leave it like that. Or if you want to clean it up, y equals negative 8x plus 12. Okay, number 10. As for marginal, marginal means derivative. Pick derivative, plug in 3. Derivative is 11 plus 10x. Plug in 3, 11 plus 30, $41. Okay, and here's the focusing thing on this again. Yes, I know I'm going fast, but this is our review. You've seen it before. Again, you looked at this quite intensely, right? When you were taking the test. So it's not like you haven't seen it before. And again, it's in order for me to finish the video quickly. And since it is a video, you can, pause, rewind, fast forward as much as you want. Okay, that was exam 3. 3 down, 2 to go. Check the chat. Nothing in the chat. Okay, anybody who joined late, go ahead and put your name in the chat. Okay, test number 4. So there's that. Again, ignore all the red. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll just show you all the left side. Then I'll show you all the right side. And you can hopefully put it all together. Okay. Okay, number 1. As for critical values, so take the derivative and make a sign chart. So the derivative of number 1, 3x squared minus 6x. Factor 3x times x minus 2, set it equal to 0, which gives me x equals 0 and 2. Plug in 0, you get 0. Plug in 2, you get negative 4. To the original sign chart. Okay, plug in negative 1. Negative 1 gives me negative times negative, which is positive. Plug in 1, it gives me positive times negative, which is negative. Plug in 3, positive times positive is positive. So increasing, decreasing, increasing means this one's a max, this one's a min. So 0, 0 is a maximum, 2, negative 4 is a minimum. Okay, number 2, f prime of x is 2x, set that equal to 0, x equals 0. 0 comma negative 3, plug it back into the original. F double prime is 2, that's greater than 0, which means graph is always concave up, which also means you have a minimum. So 0 comma negative 3 is a minimum. There's no maximum, no inflection point. There's the graph, parabolic. Number 3, the derivative is 3x squared plus 9. That's always positive. It cannot be negative, right? Can't be 0. So the function's increasing from negative infinity to infinity, decreasing nowhere, therefore no max and min. Second derivative is 6x. Set that equal to 0. That's easy. X equals 0. So origin 0, 0. Sign chart for 6x. Well, if you plug in a negative, you get a negative. Plug in a positive, it's a positive. So concave down, concave up. So 0, 0 is an inflection point. And here's the graph, roughly. Okay, number 4, absolute maximum and minimum on a closed interval. So I have to figure out the function value at the critical points and the end point. So I definitely have to plug in -2 and 2. And I take the derivative, 3x squared plus 2x minus 1, factor, 2x minus 1, x plus 1. So x equals 1/3 or -1. So I'm going to plug in 1/3, -1, -2, and 2. F of -2, plug in -2, the original, -2 cubed plus -2 squared minus a -2 plus 1. That's -8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, -1. Plug in -1 to here, -1 cubed plus -1 squared minus a -1 plus 1, -1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 2. Plug in 1/3, 1/3 squared plus 1/3 cubed plus 1/3 squared minus 1/3 plus 1. Get all these weird fractions. 22 over 27. You can do the arithmetic. Plug in 2. 2 cubed plus 2 squared minus 2 plus 1. 8 plus 4 minus 2 plus 1 is 11. Okay, so out of that one and that one and that one and that one, that's the smallest, that's the largest. So absolute maximum at 2, 11. Absolute minimum at -2, -1. Number 5, you need to minimize the average cost. So average cost is the original function divided by x. So there's the original divided by x. So 25 over x, 25x and -1. That divided by that is 10. That divided by that is 0.05x. C bar, the bar on top for average cost. Okay, first derivative is -25x and -2 plus 0.05. Second derivative is 50x and -3, which is 50 over x cubed. That's greater than 0 for all x greater than 0, which is all we're going to plug in, which means we will have a minimum. So I set this equal to 0. Move this over. 0.05 is 25 over x squared multiplied by x squared. Divided by 0.05, you get 500. X is the square root of 500, 22.36. Number 6, profit function is 1000 x minus x squared. Find a value of x which maximizes the profit, and then find the maximum profit. So the derivative is 1000 minus 2x. Set it equal to 0. X is 500. Find the second derivative, -2. That's less than 0, which means concave down, maximum. So maximum occurs at x equals 500. What is the maximum value of the profit? I plug in 500 to the original. 1000x minus x squared, $250,000. Okay, that's the end of this side of the paper. So I'll do my focus thing again. All that. Okay. Number 7, profit function was 50x minus x squared. Derivative is 50 minus 2x. Set that equal to 0. That gives me 25. Double prime is -2, less than 0. Concave down. Horizontal tangent at concave down. Maximum once again. Okay, so x is 25. Number 8, differentiate and simplify. Square root of x squared minus 9 is x squared minus 9 to the 1/2 power. So the derivative is 1/2 x squared minus 9 to the -1/2 times 2x. Cancel the 2, drop that into the denominator, x over radical x squared minus 9. Number 9, write the equation of the tangent to the curve. at x equals 0, y is also 0 when you plug in. So product rule, right? First times derivative of the second, x e to the x, plus the second e to the x times derivative of the first, which is 1. So the derivative is x e to the x plus e to the x. Plug in 0, that's 0. E to the 0 is 1. F prime of 0 is 1. So the slope is 1. So y minus 0 equals m1 times x minus 0, or y equals x. Finally, number 10, find a derivative of natural log of x over x, quotient rule. Bottom times derivative of the top, derivative of ln x is 1 over x, minus the top, ln x, times derivative of the bottom, derivative of 1, derivative of x is 1, all over x squared. Final answer is 1 minus ln x all over x squared. Okay, and that is that. Focus on this one. Okay, and that was exam 4, folks. So 4 down and 1 to go. So the most recent exam, so the most fresh in your memory, of course, when we just finished, and that would be it. And let me check the chat. So if anybody has any questions after I finish exam 5, we're finished. Okay, so again, next time, go straight to the final exam, no questions and answers. I'll send it through Canvas announcements a little bit before 4:40, I guess. And then you have from 4:40 to 5:55, our usual time for the final exam. No homework to turn in. There is no homework, of course. Okay, and our most recent exam. So here it is again, if you need it. And ignore all the red, that's just my notes. So I think you can see it all now. Okay, number 1, integrate 6x cubed, 6x to the 4th over 4 plus c, reduces to 3/2 x to the 4th plus c. Remember, how can you always double check your answer? Take the derivative, right? Anytime you do an integration, you can check it with the derivative. Derivative of this comes out to be 6x cubed, doesn't it? Same thing for this. Integral of 12 minus 4x plus 14x to the 6th, 12x minus 4x squared over 2 plus 14x to the 7th over 7 plus c. Simplify 12x minus 2x squared plus 2x to the 7th plus c. Okay. If you have time, double check your answer. What's the derivative of this? Derivative of 12x is 12. Yep. Derivative of negative 2x squared, negative 4x. Yep. Derivative of 2x to the 7th, 14x to the 6th. Yep. And derivative of any constant is 0. So you know it works. Okay, 3, the revenue function. This one tripped up some people. I didn't take off too much for it, but the c is 0. Okay, so you integrate negative 0.2 x plus 9 dx. That's negative 0.2 x squared over 2 plus 9x plus c. Negative 0.1 x squared plus 9x plus c. So many of you stopped here. But remember, this is a revenue function. So if you sell no units, your revenue is 0. So if I plug in 0, I should have a revenue of 0. I'm not going to make money if I sell 0. So 0 equals, plug in 0 here, that's 0. Plug in 0 here, that's 0 plus c, which means c is 0. So for this one type of problem, drop the c. So the revenue function is just negative 0.1 x squared plus 9x. No c needed this time, because when you plug in 0, you get 0. Okay, 4, use substitution. Let u equal 4x minus 5. du is 4 dx. Need a 4 inside, 1/4 outside. Take out the 6 also, so 6 over 4. U to the 5th du. And 6 over 4 reduces to 3/2. 3/2 u to the 6th over 6 plus c. This reduces to 1/4. Plug u back in. 1/4 times 4x minus 5 to the 6th plus a constant. Number 5, let u be x squared minus 6x, x to the 6th minus 6x squared minus 1. du is 6x to the 5th minus 12x dx, which is 6 times x to the 5th minus 2x dx. So I don't have the 6. So we need to introduce a 6 right over here, right? So the new problem becomes 1/6 integral of x to the 5th minus 2x, x to the 6th minus 6x squared minus 1 to the negative 2 dx with a 6 there. So that becomes u to the negative 2. And then the combination of 6, x to the 5th minus 2x dx is my du. All right, so 1/6 u to the minus 1 over minus 1 plus c. Put that in the denominator. It's not necessary, actually, because the original problem started off with a negative exponent, right? So you may leave your answer with a negative exponent. But if you went ahead and got rid of -1, that's okay. -1, 6, x to the 6 minus 6x squared minus 1 to the -1 plus c. Number 6, the derivative of the bottom is exactly the top. So u equals x to the 4th minus 2, du equals 4x cubed dx. So the integral becomes du over u. You can sneak in a 1. That's natural log absolute value of u plus c. Change u back, x to the 4th minus 2, and absolute value plus c. Remember, when this quantity cannot be negative, you can drop the bars, but this thing has a possibility of being negative. Quite often you can tell if you plug in 0. If you plug in 0, you get a negative, right? So you need the bars. But if this had, say, been absolute value of x to the 4th plus 2, then you should drop the absolute values because that has absolutely no chance of being negative, x to the 4th plus 2. Okay, number 7, again, the derivative of the bottom is the top. So u equals x cubed minus 2x, du equals 3x squared minus 2 dx. So my I is du over u again, ln absolute value of u plus c, and ln absolute value of x cubed minus 2x plus c. This also has a possibility of being negative if you plug in, say, 1. So again, you need the bars. Okay, 8, 9, and 10 are definite integrals. So integral of x squared is x cubed over 3 from 3 to 6. Plug in 6, you get 216 over 3. Plug in 3, 27 over 3. 189 over 3, 63. Number 9, integrate 3x cubed over 3 minus 8x squared over 2 plus x from 1 to 4. Simplify x cubed minus 4x squared plus x. Quick double check. What is the derivative of this? Derivative of x cubed is indeed 3x squared. Derivative of negative 4x squared, negative 8x. Derivative of x is 1. Yes. Again, if you have extra time, double check your work. From 1 to 4. Okay, plug in 4. 4 cubed is 64. Minus 4 times 4 times 4, which is also 64. So these cancel out. Plus 4. Minus plug in 1. 1 minus 4 plus 1. So that's 4. And 1 minus 4 plus 1 is negative 2. 4 minus a negative 2 is 6. Okay. After number 10, we're done, folks. So if nobody has any questions, we'll be done in a couple minutes. Okay. So how do you integrate x to the -1? It's kind of a trick. Don't go x to the 0 over 0, right? You know you can't divide it by 0. Instead, you have to remember, oh yeah, that's 1 over x. Right? So I'm integrating from 1 to e of 1 over x dx. So that's ln absolute value of x from 1 to e. And the absolute value of e is e. E is like 2.7, it's positive. So drop the bars. Minus ln of 1. Absolute value of 1 is also 1. Ln of 1 is 0. Ln of e is 1. Final answer is 1. And these were a quickie review of all 5 exams. So I'll check the chat quickly. I don't see anything in the chat. So after I do my focus thing, so you have one last chance to ask any questions because there are no questions on Thursday. We're going straight to the final exam. So I'll blab just a little bit longer, do my focus thing. So you can just study this video. Yeah, if you have all the previous exams, that's great. But if you want to just have it all nice and condensed, yes, I went kind of fast, but it does have everything. Okay, don't study the book. Don't study the homework. There's no homework to turn in. Just focus on these 5 exams. I'll pick maybe 3 questions from every exam, so maybe 15 questions total. Okay, again, they don't have to be the very same question, but very close to it. Okay, so I've now shown you all of that. Those of you that join late, don't worry, I'll send the video, and you can just look at the video for all the exams, and that's all you need to do to study. Okay, so Thursday, nothing to turn in, just start right away with the test, 440 to 555. Okay, any other questions, folks? Let me check the chat. I don't see anything else. So I'll wait just for a moment in case anybody's typing anything. Otherwise, we're done, and we're done with the course. The only thing we have left is a final exam. Okay, so any last questions, please? Just study this for Thursday's final exam. All right, I don't see anything. Oh, yes, I do see something. Okay, that's that. Okay, I don't hear anything, so study for the final exam, and we'll see everybody for the final on Thursday. Okay, all right, bye, everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night. All right, you study hard. See you
you.
for the final. Okay, bye.